System status tree in this situation, because your ATS is disabled, you're going to normally have two lights. You're going to have your power available, and you're going to have your automatic shutdown disabled. We'll get to the automatic shutdown disabled as we work our way down. I just want to give you an indication that you do have two lights. Alarm, self-explanatory. Any time your system goes in the alarm, whatever it may be, low pressure, pump run, and it'll all go, anything changes from what we're currently at, you'll get an alarm. You also get it, like I said, on the screen right here. Transfer switch normal is talking about this system. So it's talking about you're in the normal cavity difference. You're always going to be transfer switch normal, that's why you know lights. If they ever put the generator in, you have an actual third light there. And your normal status would be 3 lights, normal status. System pressure low. If your pressure drops below the start point, the 155, that's when we're going to system pressure low, the pump's going to run. Pump running, self-explanatory. Deluge open and remote start, we're not using it in this installation. So they're not relevant, they're just features that can be used for different reasons, like for dry systems and things to that effect. Interlock on is the important one. So interlock on, you're going to get a yellow light if that's ever in place. There's a jumper at that control board in there for service technicians to do any work on the fire pump. And basically, when that jumper is put in place, your interlock on light comes on, the pump will not start in auto. Now, the important part is it is the responsibility of the service technician who last worked on the equipment to come back and take it out. So you've got to check anytime you have anybody doing anything in your fire pumps. Walk up, make sure you've got your 2 lights, and that's it. If you have that interlock on, you've got to call that technician back and tell him that the interlock's on. It's his responsibility to come back and take it out for you. Okay? So that's the important thing you got to remember. Field to start is saying that the pump field to start. You'll get that alarm, but the pump, if there's a real situation when it tries to start in auto, it will not stop trying to start. It will continue, because maybe the 30th or the 40th time it actually runs, for whatever reason it was holding that in the first place. If not, you can obviously override, yeah. Motor overload is saying that you're drawing more amperage than the motor's rated for. Again, it's an advisory alarm with a fire pump. It doesn't shut the system down, it doesn't trip anything, it just tells you you have an alarm. If you're getting motor overload, that could be because of 2 reasons. Your pump is pulling in too much amperage, working too hard. Could be, from old age, whatever it may be, amperage damage to the windings, or you could have under voltage. If your voltage drops, your amperage goes up. Okay. So that's where you could get that overload situation occurring. Emergency ISO switch off is what I was talking about earlier on. That is that actual isolation switch for the generator. So if the program wasn't disabled right now to look for the generator, you'd be an alarm. And that's why that's there. So again, that's not relevant in this situation until you decide to put the generator in play. Phase failure is saying that you've lost one of your 3 legs in, 3 legs of power, your CVA, or all 3. That is being monitored by your fire panel. And I actually meant to say your pump running is also being monitored by your fire panel. There's 3 things that they monitor: pump running, phase failure, and the last thing is phase reversal. So phase reversal is someone changing it from your normal CVA to ABC. If for some reason someone's doing any work on the building, be it in the mains, be it in your main supply in, your main distribution, that ABC, and they switch it to ABC, you've got to tell them to switch it back, because everything in your building could be running backwards, but the fire pump monitors that. Okay. So you'll start getting phase reversal alarms, and you'll see them locally here, and they'll also be at your fire pump. So the 3 alarms you're monitoring is pump running, phase failure, phase reversal. Last thing we got is automatic shutdown disabled, which I was talking about earlier. Automatic shutdown disabled means that basically this system is a manual shutdown. You've got to come in and hit the stop button, no matter what. So if there is a fire, it'll be the responsibility of the FDNY. The fire department will come in, they'll shut it down. Once they've made sure that everybody's safe out of the building, the fire's put out, they'll shut it all off. If it's just a false start, it's up to you to come and shut it off. Automatic shutdown disabled is New York City code, so we can't enable it. It has to be set up that way. That's why it is. Over voltage, more of an advisory alarm. It's just saying that you're rated 200 volts, you're over that 10-15% threshold, you've got more voltage than you need, your amperage will come down a little bit. Not really a cause for concern, but it is worth looking at if you're getting that over voltage alarm, because something's changed somewhere, that your electricity, your supply has changed a little bit. Under voltage is the one that I was saying earlier on is the problem. So under voltage can trip your motor overloads, because the less voltage you have, the more amperage. Your voltage and your amperage, so your amperage is derivative of how hard the pump is working, but your voltage and your amperage relate to each other. So as your voltage drops, it pulls in more amperage. And that's why a high voltage system is a lower amperage reading than a low voltage system. That's probably the reason why. That's the main concerns with the system status tree. Have you any questions about the control setup and the controls?
The only thing is the interlock on, that's the one
That's the
technician
important
comes
one.
in.
The service technician
I'll
come
come in after check.
Just double check.
This is only two lights should be on, anything else? I
Yeah,
have to check into it.
yeah, give him a call. And the reason I say, because I mean, it may not be us that you end up taking out service contracts with, it may be a separate fire company, that's why I say it has to be the last technician. If it's us, obviously call us. But I mean, if it is somebody from, you know, whatever fire suppression system you call in, that's part of the reason why we say you have to call them back, because at that point, it's their responsibility. Anything else, or are you all good? All right, that concludes the training on the fire pump system.